Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you exciting information about things that are happening in this community, and today will be no different. You may or may not be familiar with an organization called the WEDC Foundation. And perhaps if you have heard about it, you know about the great work that they're doing to promote economic development and success for women in our community and communities in this North Alabama area. Perhaps you want to know more about it, and I certainly did, so I thought I'd invite a couple of people to talk about the organization today. With me is JoAnn Perez. She is the board chair for the WEDC Foundation. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having us today.
And you also have with you Dawn Pumpelly, and she is the chairwoman for the Women Honoring Women 2016 event. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, tell us what WEDC Foundation is.
Well, basically, it's a scholarship program at its very core. We give scholarships to non-traditional women in our community. In the past 18 years, we've helped over 110 women achieve a college degree or certification program, which means we've impacted over 400 lives because we've impacted their lives as well as the lives of their children. We give scholarship dollars. We provide each of our scholars with a mentor who helps them through career training decisions, just simple basic skill questions, and we offer seminars to help them. For instance, we recently had a seminar on interviewing skills and resume building.
So when you say non-traditional women, what type of women are you talking
That's a great question. Our scholars have to have 25 credit hours already in college, so we hit basically sophomores. Our typical scholar will be 30, 35 years old, 2 or 3 children, single mom, is maybe a bookkeeper during the day and going to school at night part-time. We pay our funds directly to the scholar because most of our scholars, in fact, I think all of them are Pell Grant eligible. So they can use that money for daycare or to purchase a computer to take an online class or gas if they need it, whatever their family needs are.
And I can only imagine what this would mean for the lives of the women that have been touched. You said you've had an impact in over 400 lives, and of course you anticipate many more lives to be touched over the years to come. What kind of response have you gotten, and what kinds of experiences have you seen with regards to the women that you've worked with?
Oh, it's amazing. In fact, my best story that I like to tell is one of our early scholars went to school. It took her about 6.5 years to graduate, and her daughter was very young at the time that she entered the program. But last year, her daughter entered Auburn University on a full ride academic scholarship. The scholar that was in our WEDC Foundation program was literally the first person from her family to graduate high school, not go to college even. So we've sort of helped that family break the cycle of poverty.
Yeah. Now, what does it mean to you personally to be involved in such a program? Because I can only imagine with a society that offers so many different opportunities, but yet many people don't seem to have access to those things. And then you are right there in the trenches, right there on the forefront, working with people and making these things possible. What does that mean to you personally?
It means a great deal to me personally. I could be one of our scholars. My family is very blue collar. I'm the first person in my family who graduated from college. I went to school on an academic scholarship. That's the only way I was able to go to college. So I kind of think of it, but for the grace of God, there go I. So I could have been one of our scholars, and I'm grateful that I had the experiences that I had, and so I feel like I'm paying it forward.
Yeah. So you have people in the program. How do they qualify for the program? Obviously, there has to be some type of qualification process.
There is, and we're actually accepting applications now through April 30th. It's on our website, wedcfoundation.org, and it lists all the qualifications. You need to have a 2.5 GPA, have completed 25 hours of college credits, or depending if you're in we also supply some funds at Calhoun or some of the community colleges. If you're in one of those programs, there are different qualifications for how many hours you have to have. And then you have to be 2 times the poverty or less in terms of income. So they can go online and fill out an application and send it in.
Yeah. Where would they find you?
Pardon?
Where would they find you online?
WEDCfoundation.org.
Okay. So how do people, because again, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily know about the WEDC Foundation. They wouldn't even know to look for it online. Are you out there talking with people? communicating with the schools, and then they're talking to students. You know, what kind of marketing plan do you have to get the word out?
Well, that's a great question.
You know, our program is going to help a little bit with that, and that's why we wanted to talk.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. But beyond this program, I mean, what else? How else would people know? And that's a great question for me, because I'm always looking for ways to help connect people with resources, and also bridge the gap between those people that said, I didn't know that you were out there, or that this great agency or organization was out there, and we would like to work with you on making that happen. So I'm just wondering, what other kinds of ways would people know that you're out there?
Yeah, well, we do, we are on the website, the financial aid websites for UAH, Calhoun, Drake. We've done an outreach program to all of the financial aid offices at all of the universities. So that's a way. Many of our scholars are referrals through the financial aid office. Last year we worked with Christian Women's Jobs Corps, and they were able to send us a couple of scholars, and we're trying to work with that, I believe it's called Wings of Faith organization. This year they had a couple of their recipients that are old enough now that they have enough credit hours to potentially qualify. So we've been, and I believe we met you at a community-based conference where there were different nonprofits in the community trying to work together and partner together. So Beth Brooks, our executive director, and I are just kind of hitting the pavement, talking to everybody we can,
and
getting the word out.
That's great.
And this lady over here is doing a fabulous job in terms of marketing. She's giving us a new look, and she's done a great deal of work, because she's running our #1 fundraiser, because no money, no program.
Sure. And of course, that's a great segue. But before I get there, I was just simply going to say that there are lots of opportunities, I would imagine, to connect with, you're mentioning the colleges and universities, the financial aid offices, but certainly the social service organizations out there, the civic organizations that are out there, the faith-based institutions that are out there. There's just lots and lots of territory to be covered, and I think that's another great reason why we can talk about this today. So Dawn, you do work, you're currently as the chairwoman of the Women Honoring Women 2016 event. Tell us what that event is.
Sure. Well, this year is our 15th annual Women Honoring Women event, and it is scheduled for September 15th, so in the fall, 2016. It is the primary fundraiser for the WEDC Foundation, and what we do at that night is honor local women who have made an impact in our community. So what we're talking about here is folks who maybe have made an impact in business, in science, in technology, in community affairs, and they have been nominated by members of our community to receive an award at Women Honoring Women. And so that event is really important to the WEDC Foundation, because somewhere between 500 and 600 folks in our community turn out to be a part of that event, to support the honorees, and do that so graciously in the form of sponsorships and corporate tables that help us raise funds to support the Scholars Program.
And how are the women that are honored identified?
Well, there are nominations that are open in the community. They are open now. So if you know a woman who has made an impact really in any segment of professional or personal life here in our community, you can just go on the website, WEDCfoundation.org, go to the Women Honoring Women link and click to download a nomination form. And it looks detailed. There are 3 main questions that really just ask the person who's making a nomination, you know, why is this person worthy of being honored at the event? And those nominations will be open through mid to late April. So we'll compile all the nominations that we have, and a selection committee will select our top honorees. It'll probably be somewhere between 5 and 8 honorees.
Yeah, well, that's got to be a pretty exciting event. It's a night of celebrating the accomplishments of these individuals and the contributions that they make. But it's also a big night for raising funds for the scholarship and the organization to be able to support it. As a 501c3, I'm sure that you are always interested in developing business relationships and resource development relationships with people around the community. And beyond the fundraiser, the major fundraiser, what other ways do you have to be able to support WEDC Foundation?
Well, we do some grant writing, and our executive director, like I said, she's out and about trying to forge partnerships with different corporations and different organizations in our community. Yes. But this is by far is our largest fundraising event.
Sure. Well, that's a wonderful thing that you have that opportunity, and of course people can support it by coming out and purchasing a ticket. And I imagine that once the nominees are selected, they're very excited, and they certainly can share that with their friends and loved ones.
Absolutely.
And that's a way to come out and support those events as well.
Yes, yes, and there's actually sponsorship opportunity as well. So we already have our presenting sponsor. It's Woody Anderson Ford, and this will be their second year as our presenting sponsor of Women Honoring Women. So we're out there trying to find some gold, silver, and bronze sponsors who will help us support the event, and that's really what we're focused on right now. So that's a great way to help the scholars. If somebody either personally or through their business would like to sponsor the event, that's exactly what the funds go to, is helping these wonderful women achieve their dream of economic independence.
Yeah. And again, you're a 501c3, so the donations, at least a portion of it in most cases, would be tax deductible.
Exactly.
Another interesting thing about this particular event is we ask all of our scholars to attend because we think it helps motivate our scholars to see women in our community, and many of them tell their story, which isn't all that different than the scholars' story. So it kind of gives them a little boost of, you can do this, look at, she was able to do it. So it's a little bit of a motivational opportunity for the scholars too.
Well, it certainly sounds like the organization is committed to the development of women in a lot of different ways. It's one thing to hand somebody a check or provide scholarship money for them, but it also sounds like with the mentoring process, the advocacy that goes on, the kinds of seminars and training that you have that support the development, that you really have a very comprehensive approach to the success of the women that are part of the program. And I'm sure that that's got to be a really gratifying part of the process, that you're almost empowering people in many ways to experience success, but also take what they've experienced it and then maybe begin reproducing that in their own lives and passing it forward.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We have several former scholars who, I'd like to use the terminology, co-mentor some of the current scholars, especially in the nursing program where they'll kind of help tutor them in a certain class or that. So it's really nice to see the scholars paying it forward to the ones behind them.
Yeah.
So if people want more information, how would they get more information about WEDC Foundation or the Women Honoring Women's 2016 event?
Well, the key place to go is WEDCFoundation.org. That website has all the information about the program, ways to apply to be a scholar, and then also about the event, ways to nominate, and how to sponsor. It's all there, Kenny.
All right, that's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, one stop.
That's all right. Well, JoAnn Perez, Board President, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And Dawn Pumpelly, we thank you for being here as Chairwoman of the Women Honoring Women 2016 event. You can get more information, once again, to the website?
WEDCFoundation.org.
All right. We want to thank you for being a part of our show today, and we hope that you take full advantage of the information that was shared and check out that website with all that great information about some life-transforming work that's being done right here in this community. We also invite you to like our Facebook page. That's Impact with Kenny Anderson, where we post photos as well as all of the video from previous shows and all of the shows moving forward so that you can see exactly what we're doing to share information about what's happening in our community. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. We'll see you again soon.